Hi everyone, happy Thursday. I decided it was time to start another reading vlog. Yeah, I figured we would do like a little, I know it's not Tiny's week or Tiny's time quite yet, but I'm in the mood. I just finished reading Biography of X, which is pretty long. It's a big boy book. So I was in the mood for some shorter, quicker, snappier type of books. So I've got two that I'm going to read. It's also supposed to be really, really rainy the next few days, so don't know how much we're gonna do outside of the house, so we'll see how interesting of a vlog this ends up being. So let me grab the first book that I'm reading. The first book is The Hole. I did start this morning, but I picked this copy up from the library. It is by Hiroko Oyamada and it's translated from the Japanese. I've wanted to read this for a really long time because I know it's sort of like it's a little bit speculative while also being like a really short literary type fiction novel. So I'm not too far in, but right now we are following a character named Asa. Her husband has just been transferred. She's moving next door with her husband to her in-laws into a home there, and she is not going to have a job for a while. She's leaving sort of a temporary job where she's working a ton and isn't really being appreciated or paid properly. And all I know is something happens. She finds this creature and goes down this hole. I'm really excited to see where this goes, and it's really short, so it's not going to take me long to get through it. And the next book I'm going to read after that is Blood Red by Gabriela Ponce. It's translated from the Spanish. This is, hi Hero. This is going to be part of the Brazos Bookstore book club for April. So I do want to get this read before we get any further into month, because I feel like we're already in the month and I don't know. I just didn't think we were that far in already, but we are. So these are the two that I'm going to read. Let me tell you a little bit about this one. Hi. So I know we follow, it's very stream of conscious, fragmentary, following an unnamed narrator. The narrator, I remember, is obsessed with trypophobia. So it's an obsessive cataloging of holes that empty, fill, widen, and threaten to swallow. Oh, clever girl. The Hole. And ooh, okay, I just wanted to read two tiny books, but these now have a theme. This is gonna be really fun. Okay, maybe this vlog will be good. we'll see. But yeah, I'm excited about both of these. But yeah, we'll see if this theme is something. I think it will be. Oh, he's so cute. Hi everyone, it is Friday and it's another wet day here. It is cold, which is why I'm in a sweater again. It's April, and I was very much looking forward to sunshine, but that is not what is happening. So I wanted to do a quick update. I finished The Hole this morning with my coffee, and it was good. It was fine. It wasn't anything mind-blowing. I enjoyed what it was doing. It felt a bit lacking for me in certain points. I think I wanted more answers to the eerie things going on. But upon like reading other people's reviews of this and sitting with it, I'm realizing that that was kind of the point. I think I was looking for answers where there really didn't need to be answers. The answers were more so in the themes that were explored, and the unanswered things were kind of the whole point. So basically where I left off on my description, I think yesterday, was that character Asa has just moved to this home kind of next to her in-laws' property where her and her husband are going to live. She has left her job. Her husband is working a lot. Her mother-in-law is gone all of the time, and she just sees the grandfather outside watering the lawn pretty much all day. It is the middle of summer. It is brutally hot. The descriptions of that atmosphere of heat and the cicadas that are really, really loud, and I don't know if you live somewhere where when it gets hot, cicadas are just like screaming. But I could very much like hear that. It was really great descriptive wise. It was really excellent at putting you in the setting of this really warm rural area of Japan, and the grass that was everywhere. Like you could smell all of that and you could feel it, that heat. And she sees like, okay, so basically, blah, 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 she sees this really bizarre creature. It's described and it feels like it could be human, it could be animal. It feels like this really weird hybrid. It's really hard to place. It's described as having fangs and like these hind legs that look very animal, but the body seems kind of human. And she follows it into a hole, and she ends up in the hole, and things just kind of got weird from there. I was expecting kind of a Murakami Wind Up Bird Chronicles type situation with the well, it having that kind of, it transported her somewhere else, or I guess I thought it was going to act kind of like a portal. It didn't, and that was okay, because I'm realizing now like the theme of the hole is not as an actual, it was like a physical thing, but it was like a manifestation of feelings and societal things upon Asa. There's a lot of talk around children and her not knowing if she wants to have children. And there are children constantly everywhere in this story. She's constantly running into like hordes of children. And overall, it is like a meditation on the claustrophobia, the atmosphere of being trapped, of being isolated, of being just the same as the people who come before us, our family that becomes before us. And that's a lot to do with the grandpa's kind of storyline and the mother-in-law. It is very short. It was less than 100 pages, and it did do a lot. I still feel like I wanted more, but I need to appreciate the fact that that was not the purpose of this. And also, it definitely falls into that Japanese horror kind of stuff. I'm actually reading a little bit of some Murakami short stories right now, and just like dipping in and out of these. It definitely like had qualities of that while being completely separate, because Murakami's his own thing, but the similarities in that there are not really ever clear answers given to you. You get like this vague kind of, everything's kind of vague, nothing's really answered. Sorry, I don't know what's happening. But yeah, overall, it was enjoyable. It wasn't mind-blowing. I've read a lot of things kind of similar. This was, of course, doing something different. It had those Alice in Wonderland sort of qualities. It even like called out Alice in Wonderland at one point. I definitely went in assuming it would be kind of like that, and it wasn't, which was fine. It was good. It was enjoyable. So I'm about to start Blood Red, which also has the theme of holes. So I'm very curious to see how these kind of talk with each other, maybe, or have some sort of thematic thread running through them. But yeah, we will see. I will update you again soon. I don't know if I'm going to do anything today. It is just truly, the last few days have just been, I love the rain, but I would also like some sun. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Oh, I was also going to mention, so a reason why I'm picking up the Elephant Vanishes short story collection is because LitHub put out an article, and I'll link it below, but LitHub put out an article today talking about the new Murakami adaptation of Blind Willow. It's called Blind Willow's Sleeping Woman, and it's multiple, I guess, adaptations of some of his short stories, and it's animated, but it looks very interesting. It looks really cool. It's going to be in theaters at some point. I'll see if they'll have it here, and maybe I'll go, but I picked this up because I wanted to read a story or two from it. But yeah, it was just kind of thematically on point to pick up another Japanese author and read something short from them, especially an author that I really enjoy after finishing the whole. Because yeah, it did have some themes that I find really enjoyable in Japanese literature, especially like the more eerie horror aspect of it. I find the themes that are like, a lot of the themes in Japanese literature that have to do with that eerie unsettlingness, the kind of horrific unsureness of society and following the path of the people before you. I think that can go for any culture, but I notice it a lot in Japanese literature, especially. The themes that are there oftentimes are very typical, everything that people deal with in their 20s, 30s, and even 40s on like familial, our families, our decisions to have children, our financial and career pursuits are often themes that are taken here in the States, I feel, and written in a way that is a little bit more grounded, but in Japanese literature is taken a bit more surreal. And yeah, I always find that really interesting because I really love reading books that have those themes, but how like different cultures handle it or write about it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, that's I don't know, that was a roundabout way, I guess, of talking about the film. Hey everyone, happy Saturday. So I wanted to do a quick update on the reading that I did yesterday. I was super tired yesterday and I'm not feeling my best today, but we did the thing. We got dressed, we put on some clothes. It's cold again, so this is what we're wearing. And yeah, so I did a little bit of reading yesterday. I just couldn't keep my eyes open. And then today I'm just like in a funk. But what I did read was about 40 pages of Blood Red, and this is really interesting so far. It is very fever dreamy. I'm not fully sure what's happening, and maybe that's why it was a little hard for me to focus on it yesterday. It feels very Spanish. Like it is from, this is by so the author is from Ecuador. And if you've read any other novels in translation from Spanish, so like I'm thinking of like Fever Dream by Samantha Schweblin, Mouthful of Birds, also by Schweblin, Mariana Enriquez, I think she has a new book and I can't think of the other one, but I'll put all of those here. Like that is kind of the feel so far. It is doing something that The Hole also did, which is, this was like a horror-esque type of story in that it's like this suburban, rural kind of setting, and the horror is from like these holes and the creature and like what the holes represent. And I kind of talked about how I feel like Japanese literature, oftentimes when it's dealing with like horror, it kind of has like this really interesting way of doing it. It's kind of surreal. And then whenever I read authors, and then like I kind of talked about like English novels, like written in English, how those kind of tackle what we would deem as like horror of like our everyday life, the mundanity of everyday life, you know, the decision whether or not to have children, if we're doing the right thing in our 30s, if, you know, what is success, how that's kind of handled in like a very European and American point of view. Then now reading from a Spanish translation, I'm like, okay, there's really interesting ways that like domesticity and relationship and a female body are handled in Spanish literature in a really interesting way, because this is doing a lot with body horror through menstruation, which is not horrific, but it's a lot of talk of blood, and it's done in a very animalistic, human, natural way. And it's just really interesting to read it that way. I'm appreciating it because like she's in relations with this man and while she's having her period, and it's just very animal. And then the whole body horror aspect comes into it because she has like trypophobia, which is like you have like a fear of holes, or you envision like holes. So when she's with her partner, the man that she's sleeping with, like she envisions like the pores on his back like opening up and like people crawling in, and she envisions the walls are covered in moss. Like the setting of the like where she is with this man is very much like oh my gosh, Paradise Rot. Like she describes like the room that they're in as like this musty, mossy, moist. It smells like cat urine. It's like really visceral. I'm only 40 pages in, and all I can say is like it has like this feeling to it. It feels muggy, and yeah, I'm just like finding all of these little like interesting, I'm just finding all these like interesting moments where like, I don't know how to describe it, but like the way the horror is handled in this, like it's not a horror novel, but the way female desire is written in here is in the vein of body horror and blood. And it's just very different from other novels. Like, take, for instance, like Sorrow and Bliss. It's a story of a woman who leaves her husband, who's dealing with her mental health. And it follows like a fairly typical DWM. This is doing that, but it's doing it with themes of holes and what those mean as a woman or anyone kind of in their 30s who feels lost, isn't sure if they should have children. It's very surreal. She's seeing children everywhere, and the way that they act is very like feral at times. And then I'm not too far into this, and what I've seen is like there is going to be more around motherhood coming up with this. But yeah, I will have clearer thoughts on that. But I'm just finding I don't know, I thought I was going to be reading two tiny books that were just going to be enjoyable and be totally separate from each other. But I'm finding all these similarities, and I'm finding all of these similarities and connections and different ways of telling this story, or at least these themes, in different translations. So, or in different countries of origin, and how they're being written. Very interesting. I would love to chat more with people on this because I'm just noticing things. But anyway, I'm gonna try and read more of this today. We might go to a coffee shop later and get some reading in. But yeah, I don't really have a ton of plans today. I did the thing, I got dressed, so I'd like to take advantage of that because I'm actually feeling a little okay right now. So maybe we'll get out and do something. But yeah, I will talk to you later. Bye. Do you want to see Hero? Let's see Hero. Let's see him. There he is. He is getting a bath later today because he's going to my parents for Easter dinner, and he looks raggedy. Yes. All right. Bye. Hi everyone. It is Monday. We did not do any filming yesterday because we spent some time at my family's place and I didn't do any reading. And I haven't really done a lot of reading today either, and I don't know what's going on. I do know what's going on. I'm waiting to hear some news today about some job stuff, so I'm a little bit anxious. I was catching up on some YouTube videos and just doing some cleaning, and I'm gonna make some coffee soon because I need it. And yeah, I'll kind of tell you what's going on book-wise. I'm still reading Blood Red. I'm about halfway through. I'm not loving it. I feel like there's something I'm not getting. So I'll keep reading and we'll see. Maybe I'll do an update tomorrow. I feel like I'm not ready to do another update on it. And then I think I'm gonna start Marble and Metamorphosis by Rachel Cusk. It's really short. And yeah, my attention span is kind of limited today / the last few days. So I think this will be a good thing to pick up as well. Time to make some coffee. In the sun. I kind of got exciting news about a new job today, and so I got book treats because I'm very spoiled by Michael. So I got book treats and coffee. So I'll show you what I got. I got Drifts by Kate Zambrano, I got The Years by Annie Ernaux and Happening by Annie Ernaux as well, because I'm ready to dive in, so I figured we would start with these two. But yeah, these were my book treats for my exciting job news. Yay! I also bought myself these really pretty tulips. Treat to myself. They're so pretty. Hey everyone, it is Wednesday, and I realized I didn't really do like another update on Blood Red, which I finished like day before yesterday, I think. It was like another meh book for me, like the whole. I was hoping that one of those two would have been like kind of mind-blowing or like a 4 or 5 star read, but they were just kind of middle of the road. They were good. I am looking forward to discussing it in the book group next week. I feel like the last like quarter of it was really great. I feel like there was a lot that was done really well. The way it was being told was a little more, it was just easier to follow. The first part just felt very loopy, like the words and the sentences were just kind of looping around each other, and I couldn't really find like my footing in the text. But then the last part I definitely could a bit more because of the formatting it was taking. It was taking like a diaristic kind of approach, and it just felt a little more, I don't know, it's just like the more enjoyable part of the story. I can't really say what that part was about because it'll definitely give some stuff away, but I just definitely enjoyed it a lot more. I put a couple of notes like in the book while I was reading, but basically enjoyed the way the narrator saw like holes in her life, like the trypophobia and how it kind of manifested in her actual physical body as well as like her outer world. Constantly seems like she wants to be swallowed by the emptiness that she feels, and this is referenced over the ending of her marriage and the like rage that she feels over that. It's kind of stated pretty early on that she and her husband are getting a divorce, and she is seeing other men, and yeah, so that's part of it. And then also the holes are also very like life-giving, like as in like an actual literal sense of like when she is with men, the act of like sex is life-giving and also can be life-giving, which kind of plays into the last part of the book, like how a body is like a hole and it can be taken up by another person through sex, or it can be taken up by another person through like actual life growing. So all of that I found really, really interesting, and yeah, I really enjoyed all of those parts of the book overall. And yeah, I just find that both of the books and how they were handling holes as like these things that swallow you, but in totally different ways, was very, very interesting. So yeah, I have to go. I hope those thoughts were kind of clear. Bye. Hey everyone. So it's still Wednesday. We've had a little wardrobe change for comfort, and I figured it was time to end this reading vlog. Since we had 2 short books, we really don't need to carry it over. So enjoyed the aspect of these 2 books being in conversation with each other and having a lot to think about in regards to the themes and the symbolism around holes and what it all meant and how these were connected in that way. But they were 3-star kind of reads. They didn't really hit the spot for me quite the way I had hoped. However, there was still something enjoyable to get out of them. So yeah, overall satisfactory. I'm looking forward to picking up some books that I hope are 5-star reads soon. I did finish this last night, and it was a definite 5-star read. So that was very, very exciting. I'll talk more about this end of the month reading wrap up. But yeah, thanks for being here. Let me know if you've read The Whole or Blood Red, and you know, if you want to contribute to the conversation I kind of started with myself in this video, that would be awesome, because I feel like there's a lot to kind of think about and dissect when it comes to some of the themes I brought up and the different translations that I also kind of talked about. And yeah, thanks for being here, and Don't forget to like this video and share it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Remember to take care of yourself and to always be kind, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.